Johnny Vegas. Hey, Johnny, it's very lovely to see you, but really, I'm so impressed with the change in you. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, you're still a fairly well-covered young man.
I'm hefty.
Yeah, but you lost a lot of weight. Well, no, what was this a deliberate thing? This was a health thing. What do you do? Exercise, gym, diet, that kind of stuff?
A bit of everything. A bit of well, lifestyle change. I had to. I was in the paper as an example of somebody who wouldn't be allowed an operation.
Blimey. That's not a good thing to see your face under those sort of headlines.
Fatty smoker.
Fatty smoker.
Turned away at the hospital gates. So, yeah, I decided to make a bit of a difference to my life. And I was getting gout as well, which is...
So there were a number of warning signals out there then?
Well, that and the numbness in the left arm. It's very tricky playing PlayStation with one hand in your nose.
The gout, you actually had gout?
I had gout.
Now, gout, I think of gout as being, you know, like Victorian or Edwardian gentlemen having gout from too much pork and pheasant, maybe. You think of it being that kind of lifestyle. I imagine that wasn't how you got it.
Well, you don't get it from anything. You don't get bit by a mystical beast. I got bit by the gout cow. Well, I fed him too close. You said you're at the zoo, the gout cow. Do not feed the gout cow with cheese.
That sounds like you would say that as an insult to someone. You are a gout cow.
You are a gout cow. Leave now.
You're fired.
And don't bite me on your exit.
So you didn't catch it from an animal?
No, it's crystals in your wee. Apparently. It's something in your system that builds up, and it builds up on the joints.
Oh, God.
Now, I don't know if it escapes your wee bag and gets into you. I don't know how it does it, but it is incredibly painful.
So it's like a kettle when a kettle furs up. Is it like that? So your bladder, say your bladder's
I think on the inside, I don't think there's steam coming out my toe.
But it's moved down in the bloodstream and it's got on your joint. And what sort of pain is it?
It catalyses.
It catalyses. You've studied gout, haven't you?
Well, yeah, you do. You go online now, don't you?
Oh, that must be horrible. Your face wasn't on there as a person likely to get gout when you
were on that. This could happen to you.
So how painful is it? Can you walk? Can you move when you have gout?
No, you can't do anything. It's like a fresh fracture. It's like fracturing your foot, but it stays like that for weeks.
Oh, man, that was...
And people... It becomes like the Battle of Leonardo film, you know, where people try and help you and people have suggestions and you can't move. Yeah, you know, why don't you do something to help me?
Oh, and now it's gone. Can they give you anything for it? Do they rub anything on it?
You can take tablets, but it gives you kidney stones. And it wasn't a health thing, you know, it wasn't that. I would have lived with gout if I had to.
You would have stuck with the gout?
Well, I would have, for certain things. It was, I sat down with the doctor.
Well, you're not a quitter.
No, I'm not. Well, I let cheese go. I let cheese out my life.
You've given up cheese?
Yeah.
I don't think I could give up cheese.
Even cream cheese.
No. Why even cream
the
cheese?
triangles.
So you don't even have a baby bell occasionally?
No. I chase them through the park. But I just shout at people going, leave them alone!
They've got a right to be
fast, yeah. I chase them and kick them.
Like a tiny football.
Yeah. Look what you did to me, you little red shit.
So, but you... How long ago has cheese left your life? When did you give it up?
About a year.
Oh, Jesus. A whole year cheese-free? I think that's quite...
About a year. No, I had a bit of goat's cheese about 2 months ago.
Oh. So you relapsed? How much goat's cheese?
It discoloured me stew.
God bless you for sharing that particular...
No, and then you're going, and that was doing that to me day after day, week after week. There's people out there, you're doing things to your bodies you don't understand. You're eating something that comes out of a goat or cow's tit. And then you're letting it go off, and then you're churning it. And then you're heating it, and you're eating it.
OK, let's talk about Ideal. Ideal's back on BBC Three, and is this the fourth series or the third series?
It's the fourth series.
Fourth series. I've enjoyed the show. You know what? It's got better every series, I think. I think it's got better as a show. You've got better as a performer. It was good to start with, but it's just grown. It's got better.
I think honestly, this fourth series, everybody's come away from it really, really happy and really excited, and that you feel really guilty because you think the people who directed and produced and worked on it before were quite up to the task, and it's not that at all, but there's something about this force. Everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're like a little family coming back
You
together.
come together as a team?
Yeah.
Okay. You play a drug dealer in it. You've played a drug dealer from day one. But he's kind of a sort of soft-hearted drug dealer in a way. He's a soft bloke. He's a nice bloke, and he deals in mainly soft drugs. Is that right? Just cannabis and...
Yeah, he only does hash and weed.
Okay, hash and weed.
That's his only thing. He doesn't deal or occasionally... He doesn't like to take anything else. That's his... He's a bit of... Originally, when we created him, we said... Well, I didn't create him. Graham Duff, the writer, did, but we were talking about the fact that he's pretty much agoraphobic.
Yeah,
So
because most of it's set in your flat, isn't it? I mean, it's almost all filmed there.
Yeah, he deals from the flat, and he smokes a lot, and a lot of the stuff he gets from his friend who's a policeman.
Let's have a look at the clip. This is next Monday's episode of Ideal. It's on BBC Three. If you haven't called it yet, I urge you to give it a go. It's great fun.
It does go on BBC Two, but they tend to shift it for international bowls from Cleethorpes.
And the curling, of course.
Yeah, the Scottish women's curling.
This is Johnny Vegas in Ideal.
I'll get it. Mrs. Rupani, what a surprise.
Good morning, Mr. Moz.
Our boiler's still broken. We can't go without hot water indefinitely, you know. We've got a little more self-respect than that.
These gentlemen are here to replace your boiler.
Ignore me.
Way ahead of you on that one.
It's my brother Jake.
I'm Jake.
It's Luke and Owen Wilson all over again. I won't go in there just yet. Not if you value your nasal membranes.
Ideal, Monday night, and sometimes on BBC Two as well, but Monday night's BBC Three.
Well, it is. I must say as well, it's not a show ostensibly about drugs. It is the characters that come in and out of his life. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. There's been no outrage about the show because...
It's not about drugs,
it doesn't really feature drugs. It's something that he does as a job, but it's mainly all the other things that
It could be just as well he was like a dealer in cheese who didn't leave his house.
Yeah, a dealer in cheese whose legs swell up.
That's why he can't walk, he's got the gout. Now, I hope... Now, have you given up stand-up? I know you did a stand-up gig recently, which we should talk about, because there's been some stuff in the papers about it, but do you do stand-up comedy anymore? Do you see yourself primarily as an actor now?
I don't know. It'd be really wanky to go... I primarily see myself as an actor in that way, but... Yeah, I've not done... In fact, I think the last time I was on here, we were talking about, you know, the whole idea of not really doing stand-up anymore.
Yeah.
And I've not done stand-up for a year.
And then, you went back and did one gig recently. Why did you go back on stage and do that?
I did it because I'd made a long-term commitment to a friend, Stuart Lee, and he was putting a show together, favourite. He's sort of a heroes of stand-up, as far as he was concerned. Right. So he was going to compare it, and every week 2 acts come on that he considers, you know,
great
heroes, yeah, stand-up.
So now, and because I've seen you live before, I've seen you perform live, and I don't know if you've ever seen Johnny Vegas live, but the thing about it was, it kind of felt like you never knew what was going to happen next, where it was going to go, and in a way I thought it made sense to me that you'd stop doing it, because I thought, well, how can he keep doing this? How can he keep being this, you know, you have to be bigger and crazier and you know, more wild every time, and there's a way where you can't just by very nature of it, keep topping it. But you remember, and then something happened there, someone got upset, or there was a report that someone got upset afterwards, after this gig?